And now one of the winners of the USA Character Approved Awards.
Shepard Fairey, street artist. Most people don't go to galleries. They're intimidated. They feel like they must have to know about art to interpret it. I think that art should be a tool of communication that's available to everyone. That's why I've always felt that the public space was the best place for art. The argument that graffiti is an eyesore and that advertising is okay because it's paid for seems a little bit ridiculous to me. The first thing I ever tagged up was a sticker in 1989. I was working at a skate shop, and one day a friend wanted to learn how to make a stencil, so I looked through the newspaper to find a picture that he could practice on and saw an ad for wrestling with Andre the Giant. I said, why don't you make a stencil of this? And he said, no way, that's stupid. I'm not making an Andre the Giant stencil. And I said, what are you talking about? Andre's awesome. Andre's posse is going to be taken over. It was a very, off-the-cuff sort of joke. I had no idea that once I then did take the time to make a sticker of Andre the Giant and put it a few places, that people did wonder what it was, and that really opened my eyes to the potential of an image in public. This thing has been used a good bit. It's starting to get a little beat up. This is not going to be a fine art masterpiece, but that's okay. Street art doesn't have to be. I think having a point of view in art and in life in general is extremely important. I've read a lot of interviews with actors and even musicians who refuse to comment on topics because they think that they may alienate a certain part of their audience. To me, that's the whole reason for making art in the first place. Living life in a way that you get to express your very personal, very specific point of view. It seems like the closest thing I can come up with to the meaning of life. A lot of the images that I've been making that oppose the war in Iraq, the pro-peace images, have been using floral motifs and a lot of feminine imagery as well. The enemy of art is indifference. You never want to underestimate your potential to make a difference. Propaganda has a very sinister connotation, but I think that there is such a thing as positive propaganda. I do want my work to provoke people. Art can affect change. It really can make people think, and it can change the way they view things. Voila. Simple, a little bit of overspray, but gets the point across. I've spent 20 years trying to make iconic images, but this image is the image that has achieved the most in terms of becoming bold, iconic, and pervasive. People used it as their Facebook profile image, their email signature, and the next thing you know, it took on a life of its own that I never would have imagined, and I think made a difference in this election. I try to keep it as simple as possible, because when I was younger, I had no money, so I wanted to make all my screen prints one or two colors. But also I had figured out how to rig the machines at the copy shop in Providence up to give free copies, and they had a red toner cartridge and a black toner cartridge. So I was limited to those colors. I think making stuff really bold and simple is strong. So what, at first I think was a budgetary limitation, I turned into an aesthetic asset eventually, I hope. I don't want my work ever to be elitist, to be inaccessible to an audience that I philosophically relate to, which is anybody that's just striving to do things the way they want to do them. I've been doing street art for almost 20 years now, and I've been arrested 14 times, but I'm never going to stop because it's such an important component of what I do. I've climbed up 10-story water towers, up drain pipes on the outside of buildings, gone out on very skinny ledges. I love the adrenaline rush. I feel absolutely free while I'm doing it, and I love the challenge of doing something I'm not supposed to be doing and getting away with it. It's a very basic, maybe primitive urge, but I'm going with it. I'm Shepard Fairey, and I've just won the Character Approved Award.